economy was a little constrained, frankly, was in the regulatory process. Okay, the layers of regulation and the lack of trust on these businesses, because there was some demonization post-crisis, taking those shackles off, provided that they're not over-tipping into under-regulation. Okay,
but I think those regulations,
free market, but with regulation, because we've got greedy people in our society.
The regulation part of it could be good if you have a tax plan that actually helps middle-class people. But what you have is all the deregulation is geared towards big business, and the tax cuts were all geared towards the wealthy and big business. You had, corporate tax rates cut. You had, capital gains cuts. All those things happened, but what didn't happen is anything, redounding to the middle-class guy. Okay, so I'd like to know what he put in place economically that helped the middle-class guy and the regular guy.
I love this guy. So
which one helped that?
I'm going to help him out here.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. So some of that is perception, because there's about $263 billion that got downloaded to middle-class people through the form of increased wages and bonuses. I think what people are at odds on that are Democrats is that it wasn't enough. I mean, that was Nancy Pelosi's thing, where she said they were crumbs or something like that, and people got upset because it's $2,000 of disposable income on somebody that's making $50,000 a year is a lot of money. But you have to remember what the president had to do is he had to go against two forces, the establishment on both sides that are not in love with him. And so what happens in Washington, you don't like to see how these bills are made, but it was very fakakta, to use a little bit of a Yiddish.
Fakakta, see, he's Italian, but he's using Yiddish words.
You have to do that in New York. So it was a little bit of fakakta, okay?
He is chutzpah, maybe.
But let's say something else, okay? And I think also what the president didn't realize is that once the Obamacare went into place, whatever the flaws are with Obamacare, and you might love Obamacare, but even people that made Obamacare recognize there are some flaws.
They needed to be fixed, but what he did was he didn't repeal and replace. He just destroyed.
But
he's destroying Obamacare, and people are losing their health care, and people are are losing their Medicaid.
Not 100%. Okay, so some of that is true on the fringe, and that's what's got everybody so excited. Not 100%, but if the president said on 60 Minutes that I want to make the health care more affordable and I want to make the health care better, he can do that.
But what has he done to do that?
He can't, because he's up against the special interests and he's up against the lobbyists.
Well,
one of the number one things you do is you just increase the supply curve if you're an economist, okay? And you incentivize people to become doctors, okay? You've onboarded 40 million people into the system.
Are you going to finish the chart? No, he's playing hangman here. He doesn't have. There's nothing here. He's playing hangman.
Yeah, it's right there. You just flatten out the supply. You increase the supply of doctors. You had a GI Bill after the Second World War, which the American middle class benefited from. You need a medical GI sort of a bill.
Right. There's a lot of things you can do.
Let me play something that builds. So you make a lot of interesting points. And what you're doing that sometimes, quite frankly, some of your former colleagues in the White House really struggle to do is you're working with actual policy arguments to make your points, which we appreciate and we welcome here.
I don't need to attack people.
Here's a problem that Donald Trump has, and it's a problem that comes out of his own mouth, which is the very numbers that he was hyping last night and today, the Bureau of Labor Statistics numbers, are the same numbers that he degraded throughout the campaign when he didn't like them. And this is a problem that is bigger than left, right, or whatever else. Take a look.
I hear 5.3% unemployment. That is the biggest joke there is in this country. That number is so false.
And our real unemployment is anywhere from 18 to 20%. Don't believe the 5.6. Don't believe it.
They show those phony statistics.
The unemployment number, as you know, is totally fiction.
This fiction phony number is what he's selling today. Doesn't he have to retract that to be taken seriously by anyone?
Okay, so can I go first on this? So what he was referring to is there's a number of different ways to slice the unemployment. The number that is posted up by the Bureau of Labor Statistics is called the U1 number. That was at 3.8%. The U6 number is still in the high sevens, okay? And so what he was referring to back then, at the peak of the crisis, it was over 18%, the U6 number.
I'm familiar with the undercounting, but he's saying the numbers that he's selling today are phony. You know that.
So if I was his comms director, which I'm obviously not, he could rectify that by saying, listen, the U6 number was 18.
But he's not going to do that, Anthony. He's not going to do that because he's not going to tell the truth. He has an aversion to the truth. And he did something else today, which is against the law. He released these numbers before he was supposed to.
He alluded to them. He alluded to them.
Well, but he alluded to the fact they're going to be good numbers.
No, but the precision's important. He alluded to them.
Right. And do we know for a fact that he didn't tell anybody who's close to him that these numbers are going to be? Do we know what they did with? We don't know.